Bienvenidos, Fright fans, and welcome to the horror show. I am Jaime En Fuego, here to present a special encore presentation that originally in 2015 was seen on my then YouTube channel, Jaime En Fuego, which was for a program called ENFUEGOTAINMENT that is in the process of a relaunch. But we thought that for the month of October, the best thing that we could do was bring the entire series coverage of the 1980s and 90s Tales from the Crypt HBO television show over to the horror show, show it to a larger audience so that they can appreciate all of the hard work. Man, did I bust my ass for that month or so, getting every single one of the 93 episodes done and reviewed and spoken about. We did a little of my little trope at the time, which was BUENO, MALO, feo, which is a good episode, a bad episode, and an ugly episode. I am taking these 3 at a time, and then also a special 3-episode final edition covering all 3 of the films. Yes, there are in fact 3 films. So join me here as we jump into a little bit of a horrific relic that I am very proud to show all of you guys. So until next time, stay scared. Bienvenidos, fans of all the Scarific. This is Jaime En Fuego, and you are on ENFUEGOTAINMENT, where yours truly here covers the hottest entertainment with an edge. And I've been doing a very special presentation here for the month of October. There are 31 days in the month of October, as I'm sure all of you know, with it being Halloween and all, and there are 93 episodes of Tales from the Crypt. So, with the Bueno, the Malo, and the Feo being the way I always attack my content, it seemed like no better idea than to do 3 episodes a day and cover the entire series in one foul swoop of an axe. That's right. And so we're in the midst of the 5th season right now, and man, this first episode, which is designated as the Bueno, because, you know, we do the good, the bad, and the ugly here on ENFUEGOTAINMENT, the Bueno, the Malo, and the Feo! And this first one is one that either I didn't see it, or I just definitely did not remember it, but I don't understand how I couldn't have, because this episode was a mind-blower. It was definitely worthy of the accolades it received, which we will get to in a moment, but yeah, it's called Forever Ambergris. And you've got some big faces in it. First and foremost, you got Roger Daltrey, the lead singer of The Who. I'm not sure how much acting he's dabbled in. I'm sure, you know, landing this particular bit role and stuff. He had done some other things before. Didn't research that before sitting down to discuss this, but he is really good, and as is his co-lead, Mr. Steve Buscemi, who obviously, I mean, we've seen him in so many things, from The Big Lebowski to Reservoir Dogs. The list just goes on and on and on. Incredibly talented actor. Such a tremendous talent. And so these guys are basically war photographers, Mr. Daltrey being like the mentor, and Buscemi being the hotshot up-and-comer. And Daltrey's down on his luck, man. His war photos are not prolific the way that they used to be. He's lost the click, he's lost the touch. It's just not clicking anymore. And Buscemi he's firing on all cylinders, you know. He is really just nailing some impressive photography. And so yeah, Daltrey's also, unfortunately, got the hots for Buscemi's wife. Yeah. Definitely a common trope here in the Tales from the Crypt world, but she's played by Ms. Lisette Anthony, and goodness gracious is she gorgeous. She was in, well, I often think of her as the princess in Crawl, but she was also in the second trilogy of Terror, I believe, so she was the lead. She took over for Karen Black in that. That was a made-for-TV cable thing, but hey, the chick is beautiful, and she has acting chops herself, and so Buscemi and Daltrey are going back out. They're going down into South America, if I recall correctly, and they're going to, you know, photograph some guerrilla warfare type stuff going on down there. And yeah, Daltrey, he's got some plans in mind for stealing some photographs, and yeah, so there's some underhanded things going on, but this episode was incredible, gotta tell ya. First off, scripted by Mr. Scott Rosenberg, who is new to the Tales from the Crypt world at this point, but seriously, for me, his top 2 are Con Air, which is awesomely directed by Simon West and had that crazy cast of characters who would definitely be considered scary by many. You know, it was an entire plane full of crazy crazy killer convicts like Ving Rhames and John Malkovich on there, and Steve Buscemi. Yeah, so there you go. He was on there again. And also the underrated, in my opinion, Disturbing Behavior. Great freaking movie. Awesome dark comedic aspects to it. Good late 90s kind of post-Scream horror slash like thriller, even a little bit sci-fi type film. So yeah, and then also directed by the returning Gary Fleder, who so awesomely did Seance in the previous season that Ms. Moriarty won a Cable Ace Award for, and rightfully so. Gary also won a Cable Ace Award for directing for this. This one, it gets grisly at times with all the war stuff going down. It is splendidly acted. I cannot recommend this episode enough. Holy smokes, it's great. Definitely the bueno, without a doubt here. But yeah, we have to get into the Malo, and this is one that I found Malo, but apparently a lot of people did not find Malo. This one is called People Who Live in Brass Hearses, and it actually got some acclaim itself. It stars Bill Paxton and Brad Dourif, and I can't talk enough about Bill Paxton being one of my absolute favorite actors, not just because he was Hudson in the second Aliens movie, which is possibly my favorite, like, scare-related sci-fi, horror, whatever, ever, man. Like, goodness gracious, his role was so great in that. I know a lot of people weren't as fond of him. They preferred Hicks or whoever else, maybe Vasquez, but yeah, Hudson was tops for me in that flick, man. He had some of the best lines, and I mean, he's done so many other wonderful things, from, you know, dramatic work on Big Love to, I mean, dude, I think of him in Predator 2. I think of him in Frailty. Good actor, man. Bill Paxton's great. And he's opposite Brad Dourif, who, man, I don't think he gets enough credit for how great he was on Deadwood. He got some Emmy nominations for his role as the Doc in that, but yeah, I think all too often people, they want to immediately name the role of Chucky, you know, both playing him in live action and voicing him. They want to think about the Lord of the Rings stuff. Gotta remember, he was also in Graveyard Shift, and he was in the third Exorcist movie, and so yeah, Dourif, there's a reason why he's got, I want to say like 100+ acting credits or somewhere close to that. But I just, you know, while the chemistry between the two leads was good, I just did not like the story. So Bill Paxton had gone and done some time in prison, and so he's basically trying to get his brother, you know, played by Brad Dourif, to help him extract some revenge on this ice cream guy who like kind of set him up or something. It got some accolades, you know, like I said, Bill Paxton got a award for Best Actor, you know, by the Cable Ace Awards as well. But the story, while the acting was good, the story just didn't do it for me, and the twist especially. There's always a twist in Tales from the Crypt, and the twist in this one was Malo. We have seen it on the show before, and so, Mr. Russell Mulcahy, I'm totally pronouncing your name improperly, man. He's an Australian dude who did tons of music videos, but he is most notably famous for doing Highlander and Highlander 2. So we're talking like a vast difference between Bueno and Malo there, man. Maybe even a Feo for the quickening. So yeah, but he had also done Split Second, which was a serviceable Tales from the Crypt, and one that I remember that had some lumberjacks and stuff in it. And also scripted by writer Scott Nimmerfro, who so awesomely did the Werewolf Concerto in the 4th season, but then also did Judy, You're Not Yourself Today, which was just a serviceable outing in the 2nd season. At the end of the day, it just didn't work for me. So yeah, great acting in this one, but just a bad story, a Malo story. And so, hey, a lot of people liked it, but yours truly didn't. You guys may like it though, so definitely check it out. It's not the worst Tales from the Crypt ever, it's just one that I didn't personally care for. Yeah, let's jump into the Feo. Let's get into an episode I liked way better and has some ugly aspects to it. This one is called Food for Thought. I'm really not so certain as to why, but yeah, it starred Mr. Ernie Hudson, who was awesome as the warden in Oz. He was great in The Crow, but everybody remembers him most notably as Winston from Ghostbusters, you know, the black one, but he didn't do nothing, you know? I thought he's killer though, man. And he's killer in this as a sideshow type guy who like reads minds, and you know, he's got his iron fist on Joan Chen, who I always remember from Heaven and Earth, which is the 3rd Oliver Stone Vietnam part in his Vietnam trilogy, you know, that had like Platoon and had Born on the 4th of July. And so yeah, I often remember her from that, but I'm sure most people remember her more so from Twin Peaks, because she was in both the film and the series of that with Mr. David Lynch. So yeah, this is one that I definitely remembered as a kid for the finale, because it's a very interesting one and got a very cool twist. Joan Chen's character is basically thinking about leaving Ernie Hudson's dude, and she's sick of being abused and whatnot, and she wants to run off with the fire breather guy, something like that. But yeah, you've got Larry Wilson coming back to script. I wasn't so hot on the one he did for The Exorcist and French Connection director William Friedkin, which was called On a Dead Man's Chest. That one was just okay, but I So Kill Ya with Tim Roth was great, and so, you know, I thought the writing in this was good. The Feo is definitely not just the writing and like the twist that I had mentioned, but you've got some really cool like sideshow freak type guys going, which is going to remind me of the Lower Berth episode, but I think this presents the sideshow freak show just much, much better than that episode even did. And Lower Berth, scripted by Fred Decker, was a great one in and of itself. So yeah, this, as I mentioned, the twist, which I cannot mention, damn it, and I want to discuss it so badly, that's definitely one of the perpetrators of the Feo here. But then you've also got some awesome direction from Mr. Rodman Flender, who did Idle Hands, which is an awesome movie, man. Great black horror comedy type film. And then he also did Leprechaun 2, which, it was... I like Leprechaun 3 in Vegas a whole lot better, but 2 wasn't too bad. He also most notably recently did an episode of the Scream TV series, which, well, don't get me started on that one. So that's definitely some Feo stuff right there. So yeah, the episode is good. The performances are great. It's just Feo for the fact that you've got a freak show there, and you've got a very Feo twist at the end that I cannot mention. So there you have it, man. We were basically neck and neck for, well, you know what? I'm not going to say neck and neck, because the first, the Bueno, the one with Daltrey and with Buscemi, is possibly one of the best Tales from the Crypt ever, whereas this one, Food for Thought, was very good and very memorable for me as a kid, but just not quite up to par, so it gets the ugly distinction today. But yeah, there's lots more ugliness, hopefully tons more Bueno, and nowhere near as much Malo, but you know, I always have to give the distinction on these. So I extend a grande gracias for you guys tuning into this, the 19th installment here of my Tales from the Crypt coverage here in the month of October. You can always find tons of horrific content with me at thehorrorshowchannel.com, and then you can always follow me at Jaime En Fuego on all social media sectors as you see it spelled below. So once again, I will be back with you mañana for the 20th installment of my Tales from the Crypt coverage, and until then, adios, amigos.